Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another book video. In case you all don't know me, I'm Dipanshi and I love to read and talk about books. And today I have brought another dark romance recommendation for you all, which is the Mafia Academy series by Peter Yan. Now this series might look like that I am advertising the academy, but I'm not. Okay, just bear with me. Okay, so now this academy was founded by the founding families of the Irish Mafia, aka the Costas, the La Rosas, the Vitales, and lastly the Accadis. Okay, and the reason as to why this academy was founded was so that the future mafia generations can go to a place where they learn to cooperate and coexist in the same environment without killing each other off. That was the main reason, because a lot of bloodbath, a lot of bloodshed was happening among themselves, and the only solution to all this was to, of course, was to establish a private academy whatsoever. Okay, and uh, this series, okay, it follows all the four families right here. And if you love to read something which revolves around the vibes of dark academia, mafia romances, dark romance, great characters, great side characters, amazing romance tropes, found family, and most importantly a private boarding elite school, then you should definitely pick this series up. It will not disappoint you. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video and talk about all the books one by one. So the first book in the series is War of Revenge, which is the story of Mirabella and Marcello. Mirabella is from the La Rosa clan and Marcello is next in line to run the Costa Empire. Now these two are to marry together. This is an arranged marriage romance book, and Mirabella is not okay with it, okay, because she's not the type of girl who would sit around the house and pretend to be the trophy wife while wondering where her husband is. She's not like that, okay, and she wants to be an asset to the family. She wants to prove her worth. She's very good with computers, so she wants to help her family in that area. And now imagine the amount of relief she must have felt when she finds out that her fiance, along with his father, they basically die in a car bombing. She's happy, she's relieved, because she no longer has to marry anyone, right? Now the book starts off with the very first day at the academy. She's in the classroom minding her own damn business, and out of nowhere her very dead fiance just walks into the classroom looking very hot and very much alive. She's shocked, and as is everybody else, because everyone heard the news that Marcello is no more, okay? And Mirabella's whole world basically comes crashing down in front of her, because now she knows that she will not be able to escape the situation no matter how hard she tries. And Marcello, on the other hand, is next in line, like I said, is next in line to run the Costa Empire. Now, with his father gone, he is high on revenge, because even though he was not on good terms with his dad, nobody fucks with his family and goes on simply living their life. It doesn't happen like that, okay? So he is on a mission to kill the bastard, because he got an intel somewhere that the person related to the bombing has to do something with this academy, and now he's here. He's on his own because he cannot trust his peers, his best friends, his childhood friends, his cousins, and whatnot. He's here on his own looking for the bastard, and he's a little bit happy to reunite with his fiance, because unlike Mirabella, he is looking forward to this engagement. He loves to rile her up to get a reaction out of her. He loves when she is affected by his presence and whatnot. It was actually very nice to read his POV, and Mirabella can deny as much as she wants, but she's also interested in Marcello. This book was very good, okay? Like I said, it is an enemies to lovers mafia arranged marriage book, and I really loved how Marcello warmed up to her, and the scenes were also good, I guess, like the spicy scenes. It was like they were good too. So I guess it is a good book overall. I did rate it 4.5 stars, and this is an enemies to lovers mafia romance which touch her and I, and they really love his possessive side. It's way too good, okay? So yes, moving on to the next book in the series, which is Corrupting the Innocent. Now this is also one of my favorites. This one follows the story of Antonio La Rosa and Sofia Moretti. Antonio is next in line to run the La Rosa family, and he's also the big brother of Mirabella from the first book, right? And he's the type of guy for whom his duty to his family always comes first. Matlab, before his needs and his desires to. Okay, he's like that, and he's been groomed up his entire life to become the Don, and that is why he never complains when his father arranges his marriage to this girl named Aurora, who also has a mafia background. So this is also a purely business transaction sort of thing, which would benefit both the families. Okay, Sophia Moretti, on the other hand, is this very sweet, very kind girl at the academy, and she's been best friends with Mirabella as long as she can remember. And having always been around the La Rosas, she sort of developed deep feelings for Antonio, but she knows that these feelings will never be reciprocated from him, sorry, by him, because he was never interested in her like that. Okay, he always saw her, like saw Sophia as his little sister's best friend. Okay, that is it. Until at the academy, when Sophia starts to get just a little bit amount of attention, he goes nuts. Okay, like it wasn't that fast. Okay, like he first starts to think of her thoda bahut, then he starts to look for her every room he would go, and then he starts to fantasize about her, and then he becomes completely obsessed with her. Okay, that is how this whole thing went. Once it was very obvious to both of them that they have feelings for one another, they sort of make this deal that by the end of semester they'll fool around, they'll be together, but they'll sneak. Okay, because nobody can know about this thing. Okay, so basically they'll fool around, and after the semester ends they'll go their separate ways. Antonio would go and marry Aurora, and Sophia का जो भी होगा जो होगा, like whatever that is. Okay, that is the deal that they made, because realistically speaking, Sophia's family, even though she is from a mafia background, her father is not that high in the ranks that it would benefit the La Rosas if they had to marry, right? So she, just accepts this thing, and she makes the most of the time that they have together. That is how it goes. And while doing so, they of course fall in love, and it was a little bit sad to read Sophia's POV. You see Aurora and them together. So yeah, and vice versa. Okay, of course. Okay, so this was also a very good book. This is mutual pining, secret relationship, and a lot of drama is in there. Okay, like especially a lot of Aurora drama with a hint of mafia suspense too. And this is best friend's brother, I guess. Yeah, this is best friend's brother, and. Yeah, it's just very good. I did enjoy this one a lot too. Okay, it was a very good book, and I love how everything just came into place at the end. It was just perfect, 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 perfect. So the third book is Mafia King's Sister, which is of Aria Costa and Gabriel Vittel. Now, Aria is the younger sister of Marcelo, and she's been sheltered her whole life. So now she's beyond excited for her time at the academy, because she has never set foot outside of her house, and this is the first time. And she wants to, live it wildly. Okay, she is the type of girl who is a bit reckless and a bit immature at sometimes. And the moment she sees Gabriel on the very first day, she's a goner. And believe me when I say, she tries so hard to get his attention. Like every time she would go up to him and ask him out, he would straight away decline it. Okay, saying that he is not interested in kids. Also, now that I've said that, they have a very chotu sa age gap, but it is a bit apparent. Okay, so yes, Gabriel on the other hand is this very mysterious guy on the campus who talks way less but has a great amount of dirt on everyone. And that is why in the first two books, whenever anything went downhill, they all used to rush to Gabriel. So he has a reputation of saving everybody's asses in the last minute. He is also into BDSM. Okay, he likes to dominate and whatnot, which was good. So yes, he is into that. Okay, now even though he has rejected Arya many times, he cannot stop thinking about her. But his father has sort of forbade him to go in that direction. And plus we have Marcelo, like he is one of the biggest reasons why he's not indulging in her, because to be very honest, Marcelo would not think twice before shooting him right in the middle of his eyes if he so much as heard that Arya and Gabriel are an item. But a little stupidity on Arya's part sort of brings them together. Now, Arya receives a very mysterious envelope, and she, goes over there without thinking much, and it happens to be a sex club. Okay, now she has always wanted to, explore such, this kind of thing, all the sexual things and whatnot. So, she goes there, and before things could escalate, Gabriel comes in and he, saves her, but not before somebody clicks a picture of them and they start to blackmail him. Okay, so now this book also has a little blackmailing plot. and a little bit of kidnapping plot too. Now they are sort of, like they are glued together for the rest of the book because they have to solve this mystery as to who is blackmailing them. And that is what the main plot of the book is. I did enjoy the spicy scenes a lot. Only शिकायत इसकी और नहीं थे, बस 2-3 ही थे, I guess किनके 2-4 3-4 ही थे, ज़्यादा नहीं थे, but yeah, it's fine. But I was hoping कि थोड़े और होते because both of them were into this thing, okay, like he likes to dominate and she can be submissive, I guess, like she loved to play the submissive role whatsoever that is. So yeah, that was it. I did enjoy this one. This is also this is a small age gap, good girl bad guy, a little bit BDSM trope, kidnapping trope, blackmailing trope, and whatnot. This is good. This is also Grumpy into Sunshine, so I did enjoy this one too. It's not that favorite, but yeah, it's good. This is a 3.75 for me. Yeah. Moving on to the last book of the series, which is Craving My Rival. Now, by the end of the third book, the rivalry between the Irish mafia and the Russian mafia escalated massively that they had to arrange a marriage to end it. Okay, mafia families में यही होता है यार, ज़रा सा दुश्मनी बड़ी नहीं कि शादी कर देते हैं, तो भाई okay. So now this marriage, like the only candidate left was of course Dante Accardi, who is the rake. मैंने अभी ब्रिजटन देखा है तो rake शब्द मेरे दिमाग में है, तो yeah, he is the rake. I just hope कि rake का मतलब playboy होता है. I just wish. Yeah, so he is the playboy. He has been with every girl on campus. Now, he used to marry this girl, Paulina, who is from the Russian background. Paulina's entire world turned upside down when she heard the news that she was supposed to marry this guy, Dante, because not only is he their enemy, he also had a hand in killing her brother. Okay, so yeah, she was not looking forward to the marriage. And it doesn't matter how much she begged her brothers and, tried to convince them कि भाई मत कराओ शादी की जो भी है, but they were not listening her at all. Okay, it was as if कि वो पूरा decided है कि वही होने वाला है. Paulina was like, fine, my family who is supposed to protect me is not doing shit. So she takes matters into her own hand and she decides to come up with a plan, which is a bit risky, but is quite effective. But as she starts to spend time with Dante, she realizes that it's not that bad, that he isn't that bad of a guy, and they can have a good future ahead of themselves. Dante, on the other hand, was, like I said, not thrilled about the marriage, and he was not looking forward to it because he also heard the rumors that she is, this type of girl who never shows emotions. She is totally fake, like that. So yeah, he has heard those rumors, and he too was not looking forward for the marriage. He was the one, who was like, who basically, got a bit matured up, and he was like, fine, we do have to marry, so why not, get to know one another. And he arranged dates and whatnot. So yeah, it was, I was, honestly speaking, I wasn't that interested in this book, and nor was it any good. This is also an enemies to lovers arranged marriage, but it is, it was not okay. I did not like the ending. It's my least favorite of all the 4 books. I'd say 2.5. That bad. The scenes were spicy scenes. I don't like. They are not that memorable, I guess. But I did enjoy, Dante's POV and his possessive side, because from the other 3 books, it was pretty clear that he didn't give a damn about anything like that, right? I don't know what I'm speaking, but I was just not a big fan of this book. It was just very, below average for me. I did enjoy the first 3 books a lot, and that is why I'm saying that it is a good series and you should definitely read it. Okay, so yes, that was the whole series. I did enjoy it a lot, and as a whole, I would definitely give it 4 stars out of 5. I hope you all like my video. Please, 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 Bhagwan ke liye, subscribe to my channel and leave a comment and a like. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.